Hello my dear students, did you know your body has its own transport system? It's called the circulatory system. It carries food, oxygen and water to every part of your body and takes away waste. Your heart acts like a pump that keeps the blood moving all the time. The blood has red blood cells to carry oxygen, white blood cells to fight germs, and platelets to heal cuts. So let's learn how the heart and blood vessels work together to keep us alive and healthy. Ready? Let's begin. The heart, the human body has a complex network of tubes or blood vessels that carry blood to deliver oxygen and nutrients to even the remotest body part. Blood has composition and for blood composition and function. Blood is a complex fluid with many important functions. First of all is transport. It carries oxygen, carbon dioxide, hormones, nutrients and waste. It regulates body temperature. It helps in clotting to prevent blood loss. It defends against microbes by producing antibodies and antitoxins. Blood vessels, arteries carry blood away from the heart. Capillaries, fine tubes where exchange of gases, nutrients and waste take place. Veins bring blood back to the heart. Key points: when the heart pumps blood, it moves under high pressure, creating a pulse. Humans have a closed circulatory system, or blood stays inside vessel. Some simpler animals like snails or grasshopper have open circulatory system. Blood flows freely through body spaces, not confined to vessel. Heart and cardiovascular system. Heart is a muscular pump that powers blood flow. Cardiovascular system is made up of heart and the network of blood vessels. Homeostasis, the internal environment includes blood in vessels, fluid between cells and lymph. Homeostasis is the process of keeping internal conditions stable so cells can function properly. Lymphatic system, it runs alongside the circulatory system. It is made up of lymph node and glands. It has lymph vessels containing lymph fluid. Its functions which maintains immunity, and it is also called the immune system. Now the diagram showing the open circulatory system of grasshopper. Blood or hemolymph of grasshopper flows freely in body spaces. They have openings in the tubular heart, pump hemolymph out. Collecting vessels gather hemolymph back to the heart. Blood moves slowly with low pressure. Closed circulatory system on human. Blood is always inside blood vessels like arteries, veins or capillaries. Heart pumps blood in a continuous loop. It ensures faster flow, higher pressure and efficient transport. Key differences: open circulation, it is free in body spaces. Closed circulation, always inside vessel. Heart, it is tubular in case of open circulatory system, but in case of closed circulatory system, heart is muscular and chambered. Uh, Blood pressure is low in open circulation, blood pressure is high in closed circulation. Blood flow speed is slow in open circulation, blood flow speed is fast in closed circulation. Efficiency is less efficient in open circulation, efficiency is high in closed circulation. Conclusion: humans have a closed cardiovascular system working together with the lymphatic system to maintain homeostasis and immunity. Simpler organisms like insects have an open system which is less complex but sufficient for their survival. Blood. It is the medium for internal transport. Blood is an opaque, bright red or viscous fluid. It flows freely through all blood vessels but not through lymph vessels. It makes up about 8% of the total body weight. Average blood volume in case of male it is 5 to 6 liters. In case of female it is 4 to 5 liters. The formation of blood is called hemopoiesis. Characteristics of blood: thickness, thicker and slightly heavier than water. pH level, it is slightly alkaline, ranging from 7.35 to 7.45. Temperature, it is maintained at about 38 degrees Celsius, warmer than average body temperature. So the components of blood has main two components: plasma, which is the liquid component, and formed element, which is the solid cellular components. The blood showing the classification by components: plasma or the liquid component, and formed element is the solid component. Plasma has protein, water, hormones, electrolyte and wastes. Formed element has erythrocytes, leukocytes and thrombocytes. So blood has two functional components like plasma and formed element. What is plasma? It is a liquid portion of blood after removing all formed element or cells. It appears a straw colored, makes up about 55% of total blood volume. Composition water, it has water of 91%, protein 7% and other solids 2%. Water, it has water more or less 91%. It acts as the main transporting medium, solvent and suspension medium for cells and solutes. It helps absorb, transport and release heat, keep body temperature stable. Protein, 7% albumin, globulin, fibrinogen. These proteins perform various functions like maintain osmotic pressure, immunity, clotting. Plasma without fibrinogen is called serum. Other solutes, electrolytes maintain pH and osmotic balance. Nutrients, it form digestion. Gases combined with hemoglobin, wastes from metabolism, urea, etc. Vitamin, enzymes and hormones for regulation and metabolism. Non-protein nitrogenous substances, formed element, these are the solid parts of blood. Erythrocytes, it carry oxygen and carbon dioxide using hemoglobin. Leukocytes, it fight infection or immunity. Thrombocyte, it help in blood clotting. This is the image showing the hemoglobin in the RBC is the carrier of respiratory gases. So the left, the whole blood tube, it shows blood as it inside the body, a mixture of plasma and formed element. Centrifuge blood tube are in the middle. After spinning in centrifuge, top layer contain the plasma or 55%. Bottom layer has the formed element or 45%. It contains RBCs, WBCs and platelets. Microscopic images in the right side. Red blood cells are shown in with hemoglobin. Hemoglobin in RBCs carry respiratory gases like oxygen and CO2. Plasma is 55%. The main role its transport medium, carries nutrients, hormones, wastes. It has formed element like 45%, which has RBCs for O2 or CO2 transport, WBCs for immunity and platelets for clotting. So the hemopoiesis, we know the process of formation of new blood cells. Erythrocytes or red blood cells. RBCs are basically spongy biconcave disc, meaning they are concave on both sides. Their diameter about 7 to 8 microns. This shape increases surface area for gaseous exchange. Production in adults formed in the red bone marrow of long bones like femur, humerus, etc. In embryo, it is formed in liver and spleen. Color, RBCs get their red color from hemoglobin, a respiratory pigment made up of hemine or iron or globin protein. Function, erythrocyte carry oxygen from lungs to body tissues, carry carbon dioxide, a waste product from tissues back to the lungs. Structural adaptation, no nucleus, mitochondria or endoplasmic reticulum in mature RBCs. No nucleus and ER, it makes them flexible, lets them pass easily through narrow capillaries. No mitochondria, it prevents them from using the oxygen they carry. Biconcave shape and spongy surface, it has maximum capacity for gas exchange. It has lifespan, average lifespan of 120 days. Old RBCs are destroyed in spleen, liver and bone marrow. Iron from hemoglobin is reused. Leftover pigment is called as bilirubin in bile. Leukocytes or white blood cells, the image showing the different types of leukocytes. They are colorless cells with large nuclei. Their size more or less 8 to 20 microns in diameter. Normal WBC count 4000 to 11,000 per microliter of blood. Types, they are agranulocytes or granulocytes. Function, they protect the body against infection and disease. They move like amoebas, engulf germs like called as phagocytosis. It also releases antibodies and antitoxins to neutralize harmful microbes. Antibody or antigen response. What are antigen? Antigens are basically chemical substances, mostly they are protein found on the surface of pathogens like bacteria and viruses. They stimulate the production of antibodies in blood. Any molecule that can bind to an antibody is called an antigen. Once pathogens bind to antibodies, they are marked for destruction or removal. What are antibodies? Antibodies are special proteins produced by the immune cells. They attach to specific antigens and inactivate them. When antibodies bind with antigen, they may activate complement proteins in the blood which help to destroy invaders. Complement proteins act only after antibodies bind to antigen. The image showing the antibody attaches to the antigen covers it and renders it harmless. Thrombocytes or platelets. They are small oval cells in the blood. Their count approximately 2,50,000 to 4 lakh per cubic millimeter. Lifespan is approximately 5 to 9 days. They are produced in red bone marrow from giant cells. There is no nucleus in human and mammalian platelets. The functions of platelets include adhere to surface, stick to damaged blood vessel walls, clamp together, clotting action, release chemicals. They help in clot formation and healing. Blood clotting: when tissue or capillaries are injured, platelets form a clot. Clot is basically a network of insoluble proteins like fibrin plus formed elements trapped in it. So its purpose is to stop bleeding, prevents entry of disease causing germs, and clotting happens in 2 to 5 minutes. The image showing the clotting at the site of injury. Functions of blood: firstly, transport. It carries oxygen, nutrients, hormones to tissues. They carry waste products like urea, carbon dioxide to organ for removal. Removal of waste to organs like lungs, kidneys, skin. Protection: for fights infection, phagocytosis. WBCs engulf germs, antibodies, antitoxins. Temperature regulation: it keeps body temperature stable. Water and ion balance: maintains water content and osmotic balance of cells. Blood groups: what are they? All human blood is made up of same basic parts: RBCs, WBCs, plasma, platelets, but not all blood is the same. Blood is classified into groups based on antigen or proteins present on the surface of RBC or membrane on the RBC. Major blood groups are A, B, AB and O. Now, how do blood groups work? If you give blood to one type to someone with an incompatible type, their body treats it as an invader. The antigens of the donated blood are seen as foreign. The recipient's blood produces antibodies to attack and destroy those foreign RBCs. Key point to note: the antibodies in a person's plasma do not attack their own RBC antigens. The person giving blood is the donor. The person receiving the blood is the recipient. During a transfusion, blood groups must match. Donor and recipient must be compatible. If uncompatible, the recipient's antibodies attack the donor RBC and clumping, which is dangerous for our health. The Rh factor, or positive or negative, must also match for safe transfusion. Blood group: A blood group has antigen A on its RBC surface. Antibodies: they have antibody B, fights against B. Blood group B, it has antigens B on its RBC surface. It has antibody A to fight against A. AB blood group has both antigen A and antigen B on their surface, but it has no antibodies. O antigen, there is no antigen basically, and though their antibodies A and B are produced. The Rh, the rhesus factor, is basically another protein found on RBCs. If RBC is present, it is called as positive, and if RBT is negative, it is called as negative. So, my example: A plus, B minus, O plus, AB minus, etc. Important: Rh factor must be compatible. Rh plus can receive Rh plus or Rh minus blood. Rh minus should always receive only Rh minus blood. AB plus, universal recipient. There is no antibodies. It accepts A, B, AB or O. O minus, it is universal donor, but no antigen safe to donate to any group. The human heart. The basic facts: the heart is a hollow muscular organ about the size of your closed fist. Its shape is a blunt cone-like structure. It is located centrally placed in the chest cavity or thorax. About 2/3 of its mass is to the left of the middle. Most vital feature: its constant movement keeps blood circulating throughout the body. Covering of the heart is enclosed in a protective membrane called the pericardium. Pericardium is the connective tissue membrane with two layers. Between these layers there is a pericardial fluid in between the two membranes of pericardium, which prevents friction as the heartbeat. Heart wall layers: the heart wall is made up of three layers: epicardium or outer layer, middle layer or myocardium, that is a middle muscular layer, the thicker one, and mode of cardiac muscle fiber is responsible for contractility of this myocardium layer. Endocardium layer, it is the inner layer lining the heart chambers. Cardiac muscle: special muscle structure type called cardiac muscle. They can contract rhythmically on its own by means of self-generated impulses. There are basically two types of fibers in the cardiac muscle, like the myocardium fiber. They do the main pumping, and the pacemaker fiber, they generate impulses to control the rhythm. Pacemaker or SA node, it is also called as sinoatrial node or SA node, located in the upper wall of the right atrium. Function: starts the heartbeat by sending electrical impulses. It causes both atria to contract. It controls rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart muscle. Conducting system: after the SA node sends an impulse goes to the atrioventricular node or AVN, then through his bundle, finally through the Purkinje fibers, they causes ventricles to contract. This is the image showing different parts of the heart like superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, right atrium, right ventricle, pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, left atrium, left ventricle, brachiocephalic trunk, coronary artery and apex. Then we have also mentioned the functions of different parts of the heart. Chambers of the heart. The heart is divided into 4 chambers like the atria or auricles, whose position is to upper chamber, right atrium and left atrium. Function: it receives blood returning to the heart. Partition: the two arteria are separated by a interatrial septum. The ventricle: it is positioned to lower chamber, right ventricle and left ventricle. Function of blood out of the chamber. Partition: the two ventricles are separated by the interventricular septum. The valves of the heart. Purposes of the valves: it acts as a muscular flap. It allows one-way flow of blood. It prevents black flow once blood has passed through. Types of heart valves: atrioventricular valve or AV valve. They are located between atria and ventricles. They allow blood to flow from atria to ventricle. It has examples like mitral or bicuspid valve between left atrium and left ventricle, and tricuspid valve between right atrium and right ventricle. Semilunar valves at its exits of the ventricle. It prevents blood from flowing back into the heart when ventricles relax. Examples: at pulmonary semilunar valve located between the right ventricle and pulmonary artery, TK, and aortic semilunar valve is located between left ventricle and aorta. Great vessels of the heart. What are they? The large blood vessels that enter and leave the heart. They carry blood into the heart and out of the heart. Blood vessels entering the right atrium. Superior vena cava brings deoxygenated blood from the head and upper body into the right atrium. Inferior vena cava, it brings deoxygenated blood from the lower body into the right atrium, into right atrium. Coronary sinus, it collects deoxygenated blood from the walls of the heart itself, drains into the right atrium. Blood vessels leaving the heart. Pulmonary trunk, it arises from the right ventricle, or it carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. Systemic aorta, it arises from the left ventricle, carries oxygenated blood to all parts of the body except the air sac of the lungs. Special heart chamber. Cordi tendineae, tendon-like fibrous cords connect the pointed end of the valve to papillary muscles. Function: it holds valves in place, prevent valves from turning inside out and while ventricles contract. Primary muscles. Small cone-shaped projections on the inner surface of the ventricles are called the pulmonary muscles. Their anchor is called as cordi tendineae. Blood flow through the heart. Right side, right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from superior vena cava, inferior vena cava and coronary vein. When the right atrium contracts, tricuspid valves open and blood flows into the right ventricle. So when the right ventricle contracts, blood is pumped into the pulmonary trunk to go to the whom the tricuspid valve close, prevents it backflow from the atrium. Left side flow. Left atrium receives oxygenated blood from lungs. When the left atrium contracts, mitral valve or bicuspid valve, blood flows into the left ventricle. When the left ventricle is contracted, blood is pumped into the aorta. It goes to the right side of the body. Mitral valve closed, so it prevents blood flow into the left atrium. Now we'll study blood vessels. Blood vessels have a common network of tubes that carry blood. It should be always from your home. Transport in the tissues, return to the heart. There are 3 main types of blood vessels. একটা হতে পারে আর্কিয়া, আর একটা হতে পারে ক্যাপিলারিস, আর একটা হচ্ছে ভেন। ঠিক আছে, তাহলে এবার কি বলছে? আর্টারিজের মধ্যে ফাংশন: ইট ক্যারি অক্সিজেটেড ব্লাড ফ্রম দ্য হার্ট টু ভেরিয়াস Parts like various organs or tissues except pulmonary artery. Structure, it is thick-walled, elastic and located deep under the skin. Pressure, it is a high pressure zone. Blood flows in spurt branches. Arteries divide into smaller branches called arterioles. Capillaries, function site of exchange of gases, nutrients and waste products between blood and tissues. Structure, it is fine, very fine, thin walled branches. It is single layer of epithelial tissue. Extensive network, it is long surface area. Thin walls allow rapid exchange. So branches, arterioles divide into capillary, which then make a India to me united to form venules. Veins, in the function, it carry deoxygenated blood from various organs back to the heart except pulmonary vein. Structure, thick walled but elastic, located superficially near the skin. It have valves to prevent backflow. This is the difference showing the artery, vein and blood capillary. Blood circulation. Definition: blood moves continuously through a circuit of blood vessels. The largest route is called the systemic circulation, while other route is pulmonary or cerebral and fetal circulation. Pulmonary circulation, the side maintained by right side of the heart pathway, begins in the right ventricle. Blood is pumped into the pulmonary trunk. Blood flows into the lungs where it is deoxygenated. Oxygenated blood returns to the left atrium through the pulmonary vein. Key role, it is the exchange of carbon dioxide for oxygen in the lungs. আচ্ছা, এরপরে কি বলছে? Systemic circulation, it is side maintained by left side of the heart. Pulmonary circulation pathway, it starts from left ventricle. Blood is pumped in the aorta. Blood flows throughout the body, delivers oxygen and nutrients. Deoxygenated blood returns to the right atrium versus left. So the subdivisions include coronary or cardiac circulation and cardiac circulation. Hepatic portal system, circulation. Coronary circulation supplies the heart muscle, and hepatic portal system carries blood from the digestive organs to the liver. Double circulation. Humans have double circulation, which means the blood pressure through the heart twice as during one complete cycle. আচ্ছা, এরপর কি বলছে? সাইকেল এক্সপ্লেন। ফার্স্ট লুপ বলছে রাইট ভেন্ট্রিকেল, that is to loop or alveoli তুমি বলতে পারো, then left atrium, then blood losses oxygen and picks up CO2. এটা একটা স্টেপ। But second type, left ventricle, when moves into the whole body or systemic circulation, it moves into right atrium. Its blood supplies tissue with oxygen and nutrients. It pick up carbon dioxide and waste. Why is double circulation is important? It maintains high blood pressure in systemic circulation, provide efficient gas exchange in lungs, keeps oxygenated and deoxygenated blood separate, better energy supply. Key points to remember: many circulation like pulmonary and sanitary circulation, keeps oxygenated and deoxygenated in blood separate, better energy supplied. Key points to remember: double circulation is always good, basically for pulmonary or systemic circulation. It keeps oxygen flying and reach oxygen more blood separate. It maintains efficient oxygen delivery to all tissues, ensure that carbon dioxide is carried away by removal. Portal system. A portal vein is small, unique. It begins and ends with the capillaries. Acha. So a portal vein is unique in begins and ends in capillary, unlike normal veins. A portal vein contracts is both in directly and directly or indirectly. Example: hepatic portal vein. It is formed by the union of veins from the stomach, spleen, pancreas, small and large intestine. It carries nutrient-rich blood from the gut or digestive system to the liver. Why this is important? The liver monitors, source, polymodifies or detoxifies substance before blood enters genetic or circulation. Key liver functions as shown: কি বলছে, excess glucose stored as glycogen, excess amino acid broken down or deamination detoxifies harmful substances and destroy bacteria or phagocytosis. It stores excess minerals and vitamins. This is the image showing the head and upper region of the heart. Jugular vein, it drains food. Carotid artery, it supplies head. Pulmonary vein and artery, it is located in the lungs. And superior vena cava return blood to heart from other parts. Mid region, it is aorta, blood major region from the heart, from the USA. Mesenteric artery, it supplies the intensifines hepatic portal system. It goes to liver and hepatic portal system, it goes to liver. Hepatic vein, it livers to help. And then renal artery and vein, kidney গুলোকে হাতে পেয়ে renal artery and vein, that is kidney. Lower region, it is circulation to legs, abdomen, returns via inferior vena cava. This is the arterial branch showing veins, artery where the blood supply and veins that drain. What is the lymphatic system? It is a network of tiny vessels called lymphatic vessels, plus a structure organ that contain lymphatic tissue or lymphoid. Its main role helps get rid the blood of body of toxin and wastage. It carries helper a clear fluid rich in cells or leukocytes or white blood cells. Non-cellular components are protein, carbs, enzymes, antibodies or fats. How does leaf form? Fluid leaks out of blood capillary. But under blood pressure, some fluid carrying nutrients leak through capillaries wall into the tissues. The fluid is called tissue fluid. The fluid is called the why does the tissue fluid matter? Tissue fluid bathes cells, delivering nutrients and picking up waste. Its salts and water can be re-enter very easily. How does lymph form? Blind end lymphatic capillaries absorb this leftover tissue metal becomes lymph. Special role in. So why does lymph move? Lymph flow depends on muscle movement, that is walking or breathing. Valves, it prevent backflow inside lymph vessels. Lymph duct, large lymph vessels drain lymph back to the vena cava or major vein or enters heart. Lymph node, its shape oval or bean shaped. Location scattered throughout the body. Functions, it filter foreign substances. Fibrous network and trap germs and debris. It contains lymphocytes or WBCs that destroy microbes by phagocytosis, releasing antibodies. Example, key point, lymph nodes localize infections to stop germs for spreading all over the body. Functions of the lymphatic system, it drains excess tissue fluid, it returns proteins to blood, absorb fat in intestine, sends to heart. WBCs in lymph destroy germs and defend the body. Moves nutrient to remove part where blood cannot reach easily. What is blood pressure? Blood pressure is the push or force of blood against the walls of the arteries. Where does it occur? The regular contraction and relaxation of heart muscles creates the heartbeat. Heartbeat increases during exercise or excitement. Children have faster heartbeat, older people have slower heartbeat. Systolic BP or upper valve, pressure when the heart contracts. Diastolic BP or lower value, pressure when the heart relaxes between beats. Example, reading 120 by 80 mm of Hg. 120 is the systolic pressure and 80 is the diastolic pressure. Normal blood pressure ranges: systolic 100 to 140 mmHg, diastolic 60 to 90 mmHg. Note, BP varies with age and gender. Older people usually have slightly higher blood pressure. Heart rate. Definition: number of heartbeats per minute. To hear it up, put your ear to someone's chest. You will hear the classic lab and dub sound. Or feel it, place your palm on the chest. Average in adults, it is 70 to 75 beats per minute. Pulse, due to pumping action, blood flows in pressure waves through arteries. The rhythmic throbbing felt is the pulse. Pulse, it same rate as heartbeat. Common sites, wrist or arteries close to the skin. Normal range 70 to 90 beats per minute at rest. Measuring blood pressure during using a sphygmomanometer. Bronchial artery is commonly used. A cuff or stethoscope help measure the pressure accurately. Repeat related conditions: palpitation, sensation of pounding or fluttering heart causes anxiety. Caffeine, spicy or hot food, pregnancy. Cardiac arrest: heart suddenly stops beating and efficiently, it makes quiver or stop pumping blood properly. Hypertension or high BP, commonly disease where arteries thicken, narrow, restrict flow. Pressure rises, increases risk of heart disease. It ranges are mild, diastolic that is greater or equal to 90 mmHg, moderate when diastolic is greater and equal to 100 mmHg, and severe when diastolic is greater or equal to 110 mmHg. So I hope you will enjoyed learning about your amazing circulatory system, how the heart, blood and blood vessels work together to keep us alive and healthy. Remember, a healthy heart means a healthy you. So eat well, exercise and stay happy. If you like this lesson, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. For more easy and interesting science topics, keep learning and stay curious. See you in the next class. Bye.